It's the Moneyline Monaco podcast. We are live, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts, coming at you NFL Week 4. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review at Moneyline Monaco, Instagram, TikTok, Alex Monaco on Twitter. I know it's a lot to follow. You'll hear my voice in the betting community. We went viral again, folks, and it wasn't for a W. Cowboys, Giants, Scotty Van, sick with it, bad beat. Cowboys minus 5.5. Aubrey laces out, Dan, misses right. Vegas wins. Giants cover. We digress. But if you did listen to Thursday's podcast, cashed on CD Lamb with a breeze, cashed on Neighbors, coasting in the California carpool lane. We told you Wan'Dale Robinson worth a look. We told you Jake Ferguson worth a look. Absolutely smashed the props. Said the game would play the under. Vegas raked. We move on. 5-0 against the spread last week on the weekend NFL Week 3 slate. Felt great about it. This week, I feel great again. And just to set the table here, dogs of 6 points or more moved to 13-1 against the spread as the Giants did close at 6. I got it at 5.5. Point is, a couple of big dogs this weekend. One of them I'm going right into the Lions' den and taking a couple of narrative games I love. I don't think how a lot of the public is looking at things through 3 weeks is really spot on. Just to really remind you, the public won the entire year last year against the spread. It was the biggest discrepancy since 2002. The public never wins like that. The public is getting decimated through 3 weeks. Just setting the table here. Some of these bets, I feel I'm on the sharp side. And again, sometimes I walk in to a public play. I go with my gambling gut. We've hit a 55% against the spread above sea level 3 straight football seasons. Let's dive in. Starting out with the heavyweight matchup. We're going reverse. Baltimore Ravens hosting Tim the Tool Man Josh Allen, the man that everyone wants to crown MVP, the man that says he didn't need Diggs, he didn't need a support cast. He does it with the cape on, however you spin it, banged up defense, no problem. Let me sorely remind you, they beat the Cardinals, who they were losing to at halftime, okay? They beat the Dolphins, who have no conceivable reason for getting up in the morning. Everyone on the Budweiser hot seat down there in Del Boca Vista. And the Jags are more dysfunctional than my fridge, and my Bachelor fridge has nothing in it. Nothing. So I'm not saying that the Buffalo Bills are not impressive. What I'm saying is, who have they beat? The Jaguars are terrible right now. The Dolphins lost their quarterback in the middle of that game, and they barely beat the Cardinals. Didn't cover. So 47-10, national TV routing. Where are they going? Baltimore next. Whole world loves the Bills. Not if you're reading between the lines. Now, let me give you a couple of trends, a couple of statistical reasons for this non-emotional, otherwise sharp purchase, in my humble opinion. Sunday night game, 3 straight night games for Mr. Josh Allen. How many times has that been the case for a road dog? 3rd straight night game. Shout out my guy, Evan Abrams. Couple of sensational numbers. Action Network, throw him a follow. Doing God's work in the betting community. Only 3 times that has happened. That team, again, let me repeat it, 3rd straight night game, listed as a road dog, 0-3, allowing 35 points per game in that spot. More prevalent trend that I think is interesting here. Only 6 times in 2 decades has a 3-0 team been a dog versus a team with 1 win or less. So an undefeated team going against a 1-win team, and they're the dog. What is that team, which would be Buffalo, in the win-loss column? 1-5 straight up, losing by almost 10 points per game. One more trend, then we'll get back to the narrative. When Lamar Jackson's under a field goal, favorite dog, back him. 23-7 against the spread in this spot. So let's set the table here. Because yes, the Baltimore pass D has got to make and right some wrongs and hit some adjustments. But we're talking about the number one rush D through 3 weeks at 50 yards. Defensively, in the rush department, the Baltimore Ravens are the number one rush D. What does that mean? Josh Allen's going to have to run around, create magic on Sunday night primetime in Baltimore. And I'm telling you right now, he's catching a fat L. Baltimore's offense, 450 yards plus against Dallas's D. 3 for 3 in the red zone, 4 for 9 on third down, chewed up almost 35 minutes of TOP, won the turnover differential number. That is Baltimore Ravens football. I told you it was my favorite bet on the board last week. That was in Dallas, where Dallas as a home favorite, Dallas as a home team hosting back-to-back weeks, hadn't lost back-to-back times since 2017. I was fearless with the approach, and I'm telling you right now, it's all narrative right now. The Ravens are a Seinfeld likely pinky toe away, all right, from a otherwise above sea level record, and just laid one dud. This is the NFL. They slept in the second half of that Raiders game. Outside of that, I don't see a Ravens team that should be 1-2. And it's something to say, and I pointed it out. They were laying juice at minus 140, minus 145, depending where you shop, to make the playoffs before the Cowboys win. Plus 650 preseason. Only 12-1 they moved to win the Super Bowl. So sometimes you can look at future numbers. You can look at what Vegas lays out for you week to week. It's a moving market, and make a non-emotional decision and say Vegas is telling you this team at 0-2, who had not started 0-2, 0-3 since 2015, the Baltimore Ravens, we're still laying juice to make the playoffs, to make the tournament. That shows you that Vegas doesn't give up on this Baltimore Ravens team. And now we come into this moment, and we're sitting here with a Ravens team going against the Bills, who are insanely banged up on defense still. Milano, Terrence Johnson, another linebacker off the top of my head, can't think of the name. Down 3 starters on defense again. Primetime game, Ravens, less than a field goal. Smash it. Smash it. Bills ain't going 4-0. I'm getting dog walked by Bills Mafia right now, and I'm not deleting the videos. Buffalo's a very good team. They do not win this game. Let's go down to the NFC South. Talk 2 games in the NFC South. The NFC South is going to be more log jammed than trying to be in Midtown Manhattan, get into a tunnel near you, SoCal 405 freeway, 4 o'clock Friday traffic. Ain't nobody getting a 2-game lead in that division comfortably all season. That is going to be a squished, sandwiched. We're going to be through 15 weeks. You're going to see 7-8, 8-7, 8-7. 3 of those teams are going to be less than 2 games separated from each other, which we land on the week 4 lily pad of a Falcons team. I got it at minus 1.5. It's at minus 2.5 right now, depending where you shop. Under a field goal, you got to simply take the Atlanta Falcons. And if you've been watching, listening to the program, I have backed and faded the Falcons successfully 2 straight weeks. When you take a team and bet them and win and go and bet for or against them the next week, say what you will. It's an easier decision than otherwise not if you lost money on the team the previous week and take no Men in Black emotional baggage coming in to the next week. And I'm telling you, I took the Falcons plus 5.5 on Monday night against the Eagles. Thank you. I took the Chiefs, and it was 3.5. They still would have covered minus 3. Natty TV at the Falcons. I'm telling you right now, the Falcons are Snickers hangry. Did not get a Kyle Pitts pass interference call. They simply should have got. 0-2 in the 4th down red zone cost them the game. Didn't win, didn't cover. Kirk and non-primetime, back-to-back spots, situationally broke down the numbers for you. Not a spot you want to back. Point blank, period. Let's talk New Orleans Saints here as they come to town. The New Orleans Saints are getting so much credit through the first 3 weeks of the National Football League. It's as if we forgot what car, CARR, we're leaving the lot with. You really want to take Derek Carr on the road with a banged-up Kamara, no center, and a defense right now that's bottom 8 from a pass D perspective. All right? I know Clint Kubiak's coming out the gates firing, but look at what the Saints have played stylistically through 3 weeks. 2 absolute shootouts and a battle of dogs. And guess which game they lost? The battle of dogs, 15-10. Kamara doesn't get the edge. He's a different running back. Play it in Madden, play it in real life. He's banged up without an all-star center and a Derek Carr individual that threw for less than 150 yards on 56% completion against a bottom 3 yards allowed Fangio defense. The Eagles are not a good football team right now. They're not. And the Saints lost to them at their place. So you're getting an under field goal number for a Falcons team that was rocked, absolutely rocked. They have shored up their secondary. They're the 11th best pass defense through 3 weeks. They were in the bottom 5 most of last season. They couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't stop the ball in the air. I'm looking at this game. I'm telling you, 65% of Falcons home games from 2021 on have played to the under. This game's going under. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be gross. I will back the Falcons under a field goal. Get it at maybe 1.5. We'll see. There's Falcons players on the offensive line banged up as well. That's no small feat without question. McGarry day to day. If he's a go, that's huge. But if this Saints team is without Kamara and Taysom Hill also still on the injury report, and that matters, so is Carr for what it's worth. He'll play, but still on the injury report. You got to realize the Falcons, this is a perfect Falcons home victory. Let's call it a tennis split. They split 1-1 against the Saints. They will take care of business at the Dome. I'm telling you, not to mention home. That matters as we talk home and road here. And another game under a field goal. I am loving this. Give me the Pirates ship. Off an embarrassment to Bo Nix and the Broncos where they put up a measly 7 in a spot where Jalen Hurts doesn't have his top 2 resources. Flat out, point blank, no Devontae Smith, no A.J. Brown, and Lane Johnson maybe, and concussion protocol, right tackle, all world coming back, maybe not. Do we remember that this game was 32 to 9 in the first round of the playoffs last year? 32 to 9. Hurts is 1-3 against Tampa in his career with more interceptions than touchdowns. Philly is bottom 2 in the league right now in turnover differential at -4. You cannot go on the road to Tampa, not protect the football, and win this game. When teams get embarrassed and come back the following week, not to mention at their place, they are more buttoned up. They bring more effort. There's more accountability. I just broke this down on ESPN New York radio. I absolutely love this spot. And we're looking at Philly saying, all right, they just want a grinded out game. Saquon broke out on a run. Only touchdown, if I'm not mistaken here, for Philly. And Goddard had the game of his life. So now you got a Bucs team that put up 57 points in the first 2 weeks, embarrassed by a great scheme in Sean Payton, going against a Fangio defense. And I'm telling you, show me again. Show me again. Road game. You got to go to New Orleans and then to Tampa back to back. This is a Philly team that's not healthy. I got questions about Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying Tampa's a smash spot here, but if this comes down to fundamentals again, which a lot of these games do, and assets on the field for Sunday. You're going to back Philly on the road with no Smith, no A.J. Brown. Enjoy yourself. I'll take the Pirate ship with the 1.5 at home. We'll see at the cash register. 2 more picks for you. I'll be brief with this one. We'll end with a smash. Phenomenal game that no one wants to touch, and I'm walking right into it. Jets, Broncos, 7.5 point line. I was 2-0 on the program last week on Scuba Steve unders. One was 35.5. One was 38.5. I'm going right back to an under 40 hit of 39.5 under Jets, Broncos, 6th ranked D, 8th ranked D, 15 points, 17 points, respectively. You got a 4th ranked Jets pasty, 2nd ranked Broncos pasty. Both teams have cashed 2 unders in the first 3 weeks. You got the Broncos giving up 13 points and 7 points in their last 2 games. Nobody, unless you were sharp, and there were a lot of sharp people out there, professionally speaking, that loved the Broncos plus 6.5 at Tampa. No one saw that coming, though. An absolute 26-7 smash. So even if the Broncos put up points, they showed up on the other side. This was a Jets team I saw in person at MetLife last week. I gave out the under. I did lean with the Patriots. Terrible call there, but I said I like the under more. This is a team that needed to right some wrongs on the run-D side of things. And of course, can you run the ball effectively in a spot like this? Braylon Allen, Breece Hall, the answer is rhetorical. This is going to be a Nathaniel Hackett game. Circle it on the calendar, personal, everything about it, smash spot. These teams, this backstory, if you followed it, Sean Payton took huge shots at Nathaniel Hackett. Huge haymakers. Aaron Rodgers took it personally. Aaron Rodgers, no wife, no kids. He's taking all of this personally. This is a Jets game that, let's just call it what it is, had to go road Monday night, short week to Tennessee, road again, come back for a Thursday game, had to play 3 games in 11 days. That's 3 teams only in the last 80 years, thanks Goodell, that have ever done that. Ever. So now you got extra rest for the Jets to prepare for a rookie quarterback on the road, and then on the road again. You're going to go where from New Yorkers retire in Florida up to where New Yorkers are pissed off because it's about to be cold for the next 6 months. No chance the Broncos go into MetLife. I saw that environment. I saw real eyes turn, real people light up. Oh my gosh, we have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is going to annihilate this defense. If I have a lean, it's swallow the 7.5 despite the 6-point dogs or more being the theme through 3 weeks. I am not backing a Broncos team. I got a lot of questions about their rush. I got a lot of questions about, is Bo Nix, now he's a player. He's definitely a player. He's got some sneaky athleticism. He's a journeyman college quarterback that there's not a lot of NFL tape on yet. But if there's one thing we saw with not great at quarterback, but good Thursday night with the Jets, it's that they will make Brissett beat them. And Ramondre with 0.3 fantasy points and Antonio Gibson not breaking 30 rush yards last week. Listen, they gave up over 300 rush yards through the first 2 weeks to San Francisco and Tennessee, respectively. Mason's still running from week 1. To shore that up, and that's big on the New York crowd. This is going to be loud. It's going to be a ruckus environment. This is going to be Bo Nix. Welcome to the NFL on the road in New York. You're not in Tampa. You're in New York, bud. Do it again. He won't give me the under. This is going to be a chess match between Hackett and Payton. I lean Rodgers. I lean the under, though, as the official pick, 39.5 Jets Broncos. Let's wrap it up with a game no one's touching, with a 10-foot pole. No one wants to touch it. Let's just call it what it is. The Chiefs are 3-0 and have no business really being 3-0. I am 3-0 against the spread, backing or fading this team. If you've been watching me on the program, Chiefs week 1 over the Ravens -3, Bengals +6 on the road at Arrowhead over the Chiefs, came right back on the show, took the Chiefs -3 against the Falcons. I am 3-0 against the spread, backing or fading this team. I'm also off a Chargers Steelers under from last week. Excellent cap, if I don't say so myself. This game is going to feature likely Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke passed around the league, got some shine over there in Washington, Costco sample in Atlanta, bounced around. But look, if this was Easton Stick, I'd tell you to call a relative and bond maybe with your girl, go do something in nature, miss this game. This is Taylor Heineke off the first ever moment where Jimmy Harbaugh has a loss. Do you think Jim Harbaugh, wearing khakis in the cold tub, voluntarily tucking in his shirt, coming back to base camp off a 2-week board game road trip, wants to lose at his place? This is a gut check AFC West game. And the reality is the Chiefs own the Chargers under the Mahomes era. 5 straight, 8 of the last 10. But guess what? I'm not telling you to take the Chargers money line. I'm telling you to take the +7, +7.5. You can still find it because 2 of those wins, only 2 of those wins I just said were more than 1 score. We're talking about likely with a pinky toe on the line. Ravens win, Chiefs lose. We're talking about a PI questionable against the Bengals and a almost unanimous PI on Kyle Pitts didn't get called. Conspiracy theories are out. You got a podcast dad with no kids. Fed Kelsey, where is he? So you're going to put Kelsey, who is having melon, mint, juleps, whatever the heck they're called at the U.S. Open after barely a win, living in absolute superstardom land. This is an Ohio kid that is living the Hollywood life, not showing up. I'm taking it personally. I drafted him in multiple fantasy leagues. He hasn't dropped 100 yards receiving through 3 weeks. So now you got no Pacheco. Kelsey's in la-la land this week, figuratively and literally. And you have a Chargers defense that's 3rd ranked through 3 weeks at 11 points per game. You have a Chargers top 4 turnover differential team through 3 weeks. You have a Chargers top 6 rush D and a 7th best rush offense with Dobbins 3rd in the ranks at rushing the football. Look, if Joe Alt and Slater are out with Heineke, this is a scary spot. All right. But you have to remember, Harbaugh in the history of September and October is a 24-9 head coach. This is a guy that is going to get every ounce out of Taylor Heineke. This is the only game he starts all season. He's going to get this at the Sea of Red SoFi road game, home game for the LA Chargers. This is one of those moments where the whole wide world's going to back the Chiefs. The Chiefs win. They don't cover. They've given up 20 points through 3 weeks. This is not a top-tier Spagnuolo defense through the first 3 weeks like last year. So you're still establishing assets. Xavier Worthy, of course, Rice is the clear number 1. But you got Steele again in the backfield. And this is not Carson Steele and this backfield going against the Falcons. This is a top 5 rush D and a top 3 defense through 3 weeks in the NFL. This is what Harbaugh does. This is going to be a muck-it-up game. Bend but don't break. Field goals instead of touchdowns. Chargers cover the 7. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's vegetables that are unseasoned at your least favorite aunt's cooking at their place outing. The point is, no one's on it. It's a divisional home dog with a great defense. No Derwin. This is going to be so personal. This game, I'm telling you right now, 16-1 Mahomes is versus the AFC West against the spread night and day. Remind yourself when he's 3.5 or more, under 50% cover. Close the eyes, plug the schnoz, Chargers +7. We got the Bucs +1.5. We got the Falcons -2.5. We got the Broncos Jets under 39.5. And my bomb favorite play of the weekend, Ravens Sunday night -2.5. Smash the Bills in the face. We may go 5-0 again. We may go 5-0 again. And if we do, I'm going to need you to subscribe, rate, and review because it certainly goes a long way. Moneyline Monaco, fresh off of Cowboys, sick Aubrey wide right L, going viral as we speak. Appreciate the support. Subscribe, rate, review. We're out of here. And as always, don't forget to hug your mothers. That's real smooth.